It's Wednesday, April 13th. Coming up live on The View. They're the hottest topics everyone's talking about. From the American Idol fan who claims producers told her she was too fat for the front row, to the outrage over the 6-year-old getting a TSA pat-down, and Lindsay Lohan's mob ties to Victoria Gotti. Plus, Ricky Gervais is telling you if he'll ever host the Golden Globes again, and his comedy all-star evening with Jerry Seinfeld, Chris Rock, and Louis C.K. And the 16-year-old sailor rescued from the middle of the ocean while trying to sail around the world alone is answering critics who said her parents never should have let her set sail, and revealing her plan for another solo journey out to sea. All that, hot topics, and more, coming up live on The View.
Welcome to The View. Now, let's start right off the bat. Jennifer Lopez was voted the most beautiful woman by People magazine. Now, when asked what she attributed her winning looks to, she answered, and I quote, "I think it's because I have a lot of love in my life."
Oh, and I wonder what she would have looked like when she didn't have a lot of love in her life. I think she still looked hot. Let's see what she looked like when she was going through some stuff. That's when she was married to Chris Judd and she was going through that crazy stuff. Well, you look gorgeous. That's when she was with Diddy that said she was loving life. Remember that whole gun thing, the scandal? She looks gorgeous.
I think her style
has
changed.
Ben Affleck, y'all know what happened with that.
She's still gorgeous.
She looks gorgeous. And there's Mark Anthony, and then she had the kids. She looked the same. Love in or love out.
You know what? She was great in this article because she was open about really her beauty tips. She said, you know, I was prematurely gray at 23. This is how I do my hair now. I just thought she likes to do, she says hydration and putting those masks on her face help.
But in all seriousness, you know, when you have children, when, you know, something like that, or you're in a marriage that you really love being in, it does bring out something, I think.
That's so untrue. Better than when I got a divorce. I lost weight, my hair looks good, I was exercising.
You were happy when you let it go.
Not right away, not right away. I was motivated to look good.
When you're unhappy, I mean, we've been working on the royal wedding, and we have pictures of Princess Diana when she was unhappy. And, you know, yeah, she looks different.
Well, her sad face,
but I just want to point that in this issue, they also have a section called Beautiful Minds.
Nice.
And they picked 3 people, 6 Ivy League stunners, 3 people. Anna Paquin of True Blood. She went to, she had a year at Columbia University. Tatiana Ali, she was in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Yeah, she went to Harvard. And Jordana Brewster went to Yale. But I mind a section that's just beautiful mind. You have to go to college to have a beautiful mind? I don't think so.
Well,
so I don't
Lincoln
think they should
didn't go to college. He had a beautiful mind.
I don't think they should have a section just on beautiful minds.
So it's right there.
Now, the 5 of us, we know we have beautiful minds.
Not Ivy
Well, I'm a
Leaguers.
beautiful woman. I'm sorry. You know, I have to say. I am. But here's the thing. Yeah. If you don't feel beautiful, which I'm sure she wasn't feeling beautiful before. Do you remember, you won't, but you remember the movie Mr. Skeffington?
Yes. Betty Davis, yes.
And Claude Rains said, a woman is only beautiful when she is loved.
Okay, and you know what happens at the end of that movie?
But the
husband went blind.
She gets old, her hair falls out,
but you
and
know
her
what?
husband, fortunately, is blind.
Lucky
You know what's annoying is, to that point, Tim got laser eye surgery, and now I worry about a lot more. I'm like, did I plug my eye?
Yeah, now you're in HD, huh?
Yes, exactly. Late at night.
Well, you know what? She's gorgeous. She's feeling gorgeous. That's what she's saying. I think you have to believe
beautiful.
it.
When I was in high school, there was a girlfriend of mine who had bow legs, and they were hideous. And I had really nice legs. And she thought I have great feet and legs. And she thought, yeah, my legs are shapely and nice, and they were even better. They were even better then. She had the worst legs. And so we'd be on the beach, and because of her she thought her legs were gorgeous, men would come on to her all the time.
Maybe they are gorgeous.
You've been around people. I've been around women who... I have friends,
she
girlfriends.
also put out.
Oh, well, gee.
Forgot that part.
Wow.
But you know, you get around some women.
missed that boat somehow, yeah.
She didn't know enough to cross her legs.
Well, she probably didn't have a nickel. Let's move this on because this may blend with this conversation very well. A 19-year-old American Idol fan claims that a male studio employee wouldn't let her sit with her friends, saying she was too fat to sit in the front row with the skinny girls.
She's not even fat.
Then
they told her
moved her behind to a seat in the back.
However, I will say the people around her said they never heard a comment like that. It's been tough to prove this exactly, that it was said. And they said it seems to be as though American Idol stands by the fact that they gave her a great seat. And they said it was one of the best seats in the house.
I would like to talk about our audience.
Okay.
We do not do that with our audience because we have the most beautiful audience there is.
Don't you agree, Bill?
Do you not all feel beautiful? All of you who feel beautiful. There was a picture of Bill Getty when I said who feels beautiful. That's not what I had in mind.
He's feeling gorgeous
today. All of you in our audience who feel beautiful, clap.
Yes.
That's right.
There we go.
So, here's to a stranger issue. Here's a stranger issue. Controversy has erupted after D.C. schools banned the sale of chocolate milk in cafeterias. Now, they say that schools have traditionally used it to make sure kids get their vitamin D and calcium. Remember when they used to send you outside for your vitamin D? But the school officials say... For sun, yeah. Remember when you could play in New York? Can't do that now.
No time for that. No more recess.
The officials are saying that the high fructose corn syrup, I'm just saying, the high fructose corn syrup makes it an unhealthy alternative.
Yeah, the debate now is that some of the parents are saying, because there are options without high fructose corn syrup for chocolate milk. I had kid 1 and 2, they drank regular milk, they were fine with it. Isaiah, he will not drink milk. What do I give him? I give him chocolate milk. I was on Twitter last night talking to a bunch of parents about mom confessions, and he won't drink milk any other way.
I give him rice milk.
Why can't they just have milk with like a little Hershey syrup in it?
I use like a mix, like a
What's wrong with that?
But you know what is interesting is that
saying it tricks the kids. They're not getting the real milk without the sugar.
Corn syrup coming into it.
Well, whether it's corn syrup or anything else,
So
it's sugar.
corn syrup seems to be a sweetener because it's inexpensive. So they began using it like 20 years or 30 years ago in everything. And so, you know, some people say that part of the reason we're such an obese country is because everything has it in it. Interestingly, high fructose corn syrup does not exist in Europe. It's not there. They don't use it at all.
They don't use a lot of stuff. They don't put preservatives in wine either.
This is a bigger issue, and this has become, as we know, a political issue. You have Michelle Obama, who, by the way, is going to be on with us this coming Monday. Yes?
Right.
And she, yeah, isn't that nice? And she's going to be on with Mrs. Biden. But, you know, she has a campaign trying to combat obesity.
Right.
And she has certain suggestions that she wants schools to do. And she feels it's everybody's problem. On the other hand, we have Sarah Palin, who showed up with cookies one day to school and said, keep the government totally out of, you know, what we eat and what we do and what we serve and what we put.
But it's really the food industry rather than the government.
It's become a political issue.
I know, Barbara, but if they're putting corn syrup, what does the government have to do with that?
Well, that basically comes down to regulation, but it also, like, in terms of free enterprise, being able to sell something and have someone not buy it.
Aside from corn syrup, just the junk food, the chips and the...
Yeah, but you know what? Chips, you know...
You want the government telling you
I don't want the government telling me I can't have my Fritos.
Yeah, but
I want my Fritos.
There is
You're an adult. You're not an obese child.
Listen, my kid ate Fritos. She's skinny.
Wait, I ate
She Fritos. You know, there's everything in moderation. If you're having 5 meals a day of, you know, say a fast food thing, then it's something to talk about. But I don't think that every kid, needs to have milk. You know, I'm not a big fan of milk because we're the only people who drink someone else's milk. No other animal in the world drinks somebody else's baby milk. It makes me crazy. But you you want to talk about Jamie.
Did you guys see Jamie Oliver's show last night, Food Revolution? It was on ABC. It's one of the most spectacular shows because he's really on a mission to get this army moving forward to help kids. He went to LA where there's 80% obesity rate with kids, and he gave this example about sugar in the kids' lunches, just in LA alone. Check this out.
A truck and a week's worth of added sugar. And if that doesn't upset people, then I don't know what will. This is what is happening to American kids. Absolute overload of sugar left, right and centre in everything. The audience were quite speechless.
And Friday. This is 100% real. This happens every day. This is only a week's worth. And this is absolutely classic to the whole of America. OK, guys, you think we're done? We are done. We're done now.
Okay.
Okay, one quick comment. This is why, Fritos aside, or whatever the chips are, this is why Mrs. Obama and others are saying that there should be some attention paid to the menu in the schools.
Right.
Okay.
And that,
We're in crisis right now.
it is not government interference. We're trying to save our kids. Okay?
Clearly, as we saw with Jamie Oliver, you know, the schools are not interested in it. The boards. So perhaps the parents, if you want your kid to have a healthy meal, maybe you need to speak up. Because here's Jamie Oliver came over from London.
Right.
Twice, right? This is the second time he's been over to help American kids get better eating, and he's been shut down again.
It's probably just as bad in England. I'm sure it is. I mean, they're not known for their
But it's like when you do have a school that says you can't, you know, they're trying to do something, then parents get all upset when the school says.
And then there's me giving my kid chocolate milk.
Have chocolate milk. You know what? I'm gonna have some chocolate milk right now. We'll be right. That's ill. We'll be right back with more Hot Topics. Been national outrage over a viral video of a 6-year-old girl who was subjected to a pat-down by the TSA. Now, her parents say they asked for alternatives, but were denied. I didn't know there were alternatives.
You can go in the scan machine.
Right, but you don't want to put a little kid in.
No, there's radiation.
Yeah, I mean, there's not like an X-ray.
Jeffrey do it.
You can do a scan. You can opt for the scan if you'd rather not have your kid pat down. I mean, this is...
When you have the two of you, because you've gone through this, I mean, there is the argument that you don't know that some terrorist isn't going to put something in their little girl's jeans pocket or something.
Right.
Okay, but do you explain to Jeffrey? Do you explain to your kids before so they're not scared?
When I take Jeffrey through, the first thing I tell him is, Jeffrey, we might play a game where they're looking for something in your pocket. It's a little game. But when we go through that TSA thing, I always say, Jeffrey, what's your name, sir? So that they say their name so that he feels like, you know, this isn't
so what about the fact that you also teach children don't let strangers touch you?
But that's what
and
I'm
all
saying.
that. It's scary.
I watched this video. I watched this video, and I've tried to explain to the kids. It's hard enough to explain to them that they're going to take their shoes, their binky, their blanket, their bag. It's a little challenging, right? We've both been there.
Yes.
When they go through, honestly, I want to say, anybody pats you, mommy's going to pat them right back. Because if I had to sit there and watch my kid go through a pat down, it would be... without words, probably one of the most difficult things.
needs a little bit more sensitivity training.
Honestly, I'd probably turn around or I'd end up in jail.
She did her job. She did what she was. But Sherry, if we're saying that everyone has to get patted down or go through the scanner, which I just was told that we believe that she actually went through the scanner first, and then they patted her down, which begs the question of, okay, if you scanned her and you did not see anything, why did you need to pat her down?
A lot of people are afraid they're going to lose their jobs, and we're in a heightened security. We're in 3 fronts across the globe. We do want things to be safe, and that woman was probably told in detail what she needed to do. But
you know, it's always these extra classes that you can take with the TSA people. There's a way you can talk to kids when you. I'm not saying she did her job. She absolutely did her job with the little girl. But sometimes, you know, it just helps when a person gets down on their knees and says, the way you do it would be, "Hi, what is your name?" Some guys have done that with my son, and I appreciate it.
It's going to be ongoing, as we know.
Extensive
but speaking of pat-downs, Lindsay Lohan showed up at a press conference for an upcoming movie starring John Travolta as mob boss John Gotti, saying she wants to play Gotti's daughter, Victoria. Victoria says Lindsay has her support. That's who she wanted.
See, Lindsay wants the job. She should have shown up for the audition in the trunk of a car. That maybe would have done it.
She didn't just happen to show up. This is a great publicity opportunity. And
I think
John
look like the ghost of Christmas Future.
Well, which one?
The yellow hair.
You're funny.
Yeah, no, it's the yellow hair.
It's the color.
The ghost of Christmas future is all in black. You mean the ghost of Christmas past?
Whatever. They just, you know.
Don't they both come from a crime family, sort of. Hasn't Lindsay's father been in jail? She goes to jail. Well, yeah, there's some.
That had to do, I think, with not. It wasn't a John Gotti crime.
No.
But I think John Travolta as John Gotti. That's great casting.
That
He's
is
going to be
very
one.
I don't know that he's playing John Gotti. I think he's playing Junior.
No,
I
really?
believe he's playing John Gotti
But
Jr.
Lindsay Lohan, she's a really good actress, so I absolutely would like to see her, aside from all the troubles. I want to see her do what she
by the way,
does.
speaking of, there's a new show that's coming up with the children of gangsters. You know, we had the wives of...
Mob babies.
Mob babies. Now these are the daughters of gangsters. Now, I may not have my facts right, and if I don't, I'll hear about it. But I hear that the only ones that the other girls are a little miffed with is the daughter of Sammy
the Bull.
Sammy the Bull Gravano.
Because he ratted.
Yeah.
Because he's...
So why are we looking at a reality show about mob kids?
Because we got reality shows about everything. We got reality shows about women with big butts. We got reality shows about men who don't have enough to take care of.
Every housewife
it's too
in
much.
every city.
Too much. I have to go. I have to go do my hair because I have a reality show called Big Hair There. We'll be right back with more Hot Topics.
There goes Big Hair.
J. Crew has some parents upset for an ad featuring the company president painting her young son's toenails pink. With the caption, "Lucky for me, I ended up with a boy whose favorite color is pink." Now, people are out of their minds about this. I'm not quite sure why.
Because they feel that you may make the little boy gay or transgender.
Painting his toenails.
Now, I have two things to say. First of all, we talked about Jennifer Lopez. She has twins, little boy, little girl. She paints her son's toenails for him. She says it's just paint. He's 3 years old. Yeah. The other thing, according to a think tank, I won't go through it all, gender identity and sexual orientation are not, this is the general feeling, they are not choices, nor shaped by their parents' wishes.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you paint his toenails pink, it's not going to be gay, and if you don't paint his toenails, it doesn't mean he's going to be straight.
I don't think
it makes it one way or the other.
I don't think it makes you any way or the other. However, I'm not painting Jeffrey's toenails. I'm not painting them, not polishing them any color. Because he's a boy, he's 3, he don't need his toenails and fingernails painted.
I can barely clip my kids' toenails without them running for me.
Because I asked you.
I don't mind sitting there for 15 minutes to do like a second coat and then quick dry.
Well, you got 3 kids. She has this one baby. She painted his toenail. Let the lady paint her kid's toenail.
If you want to do this,
are you doing it because...
Wait,
I just want to be... Are you doing it because you're afraid if you paint his toenails pink, he may be gay?
I'm not afraid that Jeffrey's going to be gay if I paint his toenails pink. However, he's a boy. I'm not going to paint his toenails.
What if he said, "Mommy, Mommy, I'd like to have my nails look your color"?
And Jeffrey does that a lot because I have a lot of people come over to do my makeup, do my hair. He's around women all the time, so sometimes he'll go, "Mommy, I want to put on makeup," and I say, "No, Jeffrey, that's for Mommy. Mommy puts on makeup. You don't put on makeup."
I also think too to like give something.
Role star.
My son, no, but I'm saying for my son. I'm not talking about anybody else. With my son, because he's around a lot of women, so he tends to say he wants to do a lot of this stuff. And I go, "No, Jeffrey, that's for Mommy," because Jeffrey doesn't need to put on makeup.
He's just playing, Sherry.
Playing.
If you want your kid to put on makeup, that's fine.
Right.
I'm not saying you gotta raise your kid.
Everybody handles it differently. I also think giving something.
In my house,
do what you want. That's stretching our point of view.
That's what I'm saying.
All this talk of makeup makes me think, you know, Dancing with the Stars was on last night. I'm trying to go as fast as I can. Do you know that Sugar Ray was kicked off and they left? Yeah, and they left. Who on? You know, I didn't see it. Kirsty
should have been left on.
Great.
Absolutely, yeah.
She's wonderful. Kirsty can dance. We love Sugar. We give you sugar. And now, a word from our sponsor.
Spring is in the air, and now is as good a time as any to start cleaning up. And Stanley Steamer is the one to call to fight both pet allergens and those nasty stains in your home. We recently called Stanley Steamer to help us spring clean our dressing rooms.
Really?
For example, a few weeks ago when I did a cooking segment, the gourmet chef was so nervous, instead of showing me how to make a burger with its toppings, he left our carpets looking like Picasso's paint droppings. And when we did our annual Mutt Show, our dressing room looked less like where a celebrity gets ready and smelled more like Sparky and his furry partner in crime, Teddy. Luckily, Stanley Steamer was able to tackle the tough stains left behind by both our 2- and 4-legged friends. With their same-day service in many locations, they left our dressing rooms looking and smelling cleaner than ever. You can schedule an appointment to clean your carpet, upholstery, tiles, or hardwood floor anytime, day or night, by going online to StanleySteamer.com or by calling 1-800-STEAMER. And so you can get a jump start with your spring cleaning. Members of our studio audience are getting a $100 Stanley Steamer gift card.
Even if your house is immaculate, you'll want it. That's good.
Yeah. So, we'll be going right now, but we're coming back and we're going to bring back the fantastic Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
Stanley Steamer makes your...
people around, and his new special, Talking Funny, is a behind-the-scenes look at stand-up comedy with his pals Chris Rock, Jerry Seinfeld, and Louis C.K. sitting around talking about what else being funny. Take a look.
This is Jerry Seinfeld doing Louis C.K.
Right. Okay. So I'm going on my vacation with my family. We pack up the car and the kids, and I'm clicking in the car seats, and I put the wife in, and I get everything set. And it's so much work to get a family in a car. I close the door for my wife on the passenger side. I walk around to the driver's side. That's my vacation. Yeah. Is that how it goes?
Something that's total. That's a completely Seinfelded version.
Really?
I mean, you really polished it up. You made it nice. You made it nice.
Okay, please welcome back Ricky Gervais. Touching your germaphobe?
No, they said keep it quick. Just go and sit down.
Oh, okay, so we can touch you?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, I'm like, wow, we just thought you were huggy. Because you gave hugs the last time you were here.
I feel like a strippogram.
Who's got $1?
You know, we haven't seen you really around since the Golden Globes, where you were
a low profile.
Yeah, well, they attacked you. But they said that you were mean and rude, and you were surprised at that. You were surprised. Let me just read one of the things they thought was...
I am mean and rude. I'm surprised they attacked me for it, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let me read one thing they thought was mean, and we'll decide whether it was mean or not, okay? Referring to Sex and the City 2, you said, I was sure the Golden Globe would go to the team that airbrushed that poster.
Yeah.
A little sexist.
No, it's not. Why is it sexist?
Well, because you're saying that the girls are older and they need to be airbrushed.
No, I think they look great at their age.
Oh.
Why hide it?
Oh.
I don't think that you lose your sensuality or your beauty because you hit 53. I'm saying, why are they hiding it?
Oh, I see.
Do you think that the joke, when you have to explain the joke, that maybe it wasn't told, that because people didn't get it, or you think that most people got it?
I'm defending my motives, not the joke. I stand by the joke. Yeah. I don't think I have anything to apologise for, but that's not the joke. I think if you're going to criticise, you've got to understand the joke before you can.
Okay, how about this one? Referring to the I Love You, Philip Morris movie, you said, 2 heterosexual actors pretending to be gay, so the complete opposite of some famous Scientologist then. Wink, wink.
I didn't name them. The press did. The press started saying he means these. I was thinking, that's terrible. No, I didn't do that. They outed people. I would never do that. I think it's terrible.
Has this ruined... has anything happened? Have you had fewer opportunities of people not watching your shows? Has it made any difference?
Made no difference at all. No,
Now, if they asked you...
I knew that. I knew it would make a difference.
Now, that was the second time you had hosted. If they asked you to do it again, would you do it?
I don't think I should. I went and I did what I went to do. I thought I'd improve on the first time, and I had a blast, and it was great. But I don't know. I might do it. I might do it again.
And you didn't get to tell that you wanted to?
Well, no, I don't think so. I planned everything that was planned. There was a conspiracy that I was pulled up. Yeah. No, I did everything I was meant to. There was just a big gap. No,
At the end of it, you said, as the show was ending, you yelled out, "Thank you, God, for making me an atheist."
Yeah.
That's funny. He's very ironic.
What's God got to do with it?
The fact that he's an atheist.
If God does everything.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the joke.
From what I've heard of God, he does everything. So he made me an atheist, didn't he?
I think that's a great
Also, how many people thank God when they win an award? You know, like God's concerned with Sandra Bullock winning an award. He's got earthquakes, he's got pestilence. Sandra Bullock, quick, I want her to win an award. And then he goes, thank you, God. Oh, you love me so much. Yeah, God was concerned with you winning an award, love. You know what I mean?
And also, what about the poor schmuck who didn't win the award?
Exactly. He hates them. God hates them.
I know you're making a point, but I don't think it was Sandra Bullock who said that. But you're making the point. I'm just trying to clear it up.
No, he thinks that's
No, he didn't.
Yeah, but he was making
a joke. I'm just trying to help.
It's a funny joke.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, so I want to ask you about the HBO special, Talking Funny. We just saw a clip from it, right? So we got Jerry Seinfeld, Chris Rock, Louis C.K. No women comedians on that panel?
Who would you replace?
I don't know.
Replace or add?
No, because it was 4 people.
Because it's just 4 people.
Yeah, so who would you take off?
I wouldn't. I would just add.
There you go.
These are his favorites. He has the
Perfect,
right.
isn't it?
I think that you're right.
We don't have a male on our
When
panel,
I do
so
a
we're kind
special
of
like
guilty.
that, I will do it with women.
No, exactly. They're my friends, and I chose my friends. Oh, and also, men are intimidated by funny women, so we didn't want them in the room.
Is that right?
No,
That was a joke.
I take everything you say seriously.
Jerry Lewis famously said at one point that he didn't think women were funny. Do you think women are funny?
What's the difference? That's ridiculous.
It's a different sensibility.
Statistically, less women go into stand-up from what I've seen, so there's probably less to choose from. But yeah, there are loads of funny women. I've worked with loads of funny women. Of course, there's loads of funny women here.
Now, you said something when I was watching your special. You said that you thought, when you were sitting there with Jerry and Chris and Louis, you said you thought that anybody could be funny, Ricky. And I'm going to tell you, because I disagree with that. I went to see Charlie Sheen at Radio City Music Hall. And I said, and we talked about this, and I said...
I almost went the whole show without saying that man's name.
Almost, you know I can. But I had said, at one point I said, to sit on that stage for 80 minutes and think you can hold an audience's attention is quite arrogant. And I went and saw him. It was not funny.
Did you see
him? You know,
I haven't seen him, no.
What do you think about that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, he's not a stand-up comedian, isn't he? I think he's...
I think he thought he was.
I think he's going through a bit of a phase at the moment, and I'm worried about it that he's being exploited. To be honest, I don't think I hope he turns out.
He's the one that's doing the shows.
Of course,
and
yeah.
I know,
and it's it's nice now that he's realised a quiet night in doesn't necessarily mean on a life support machine. So he's sorted that a bit out, and it's good. I'm glad to see he's dating. Although I do want to tell him that there are some women in the world who haven't videoed every orgasm they ever had.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So he doesn't have to choose the ones that just...
There's some girls... That's funny. I love that.
About Charlie, just one more point about it, is that he is funny when he just speaks or tweets.
Yeah, no, he's great.
But he just can't sustain an hour-and-a-half show. How many people can?
And he clearly had a bit of a problem, which I assume he's sorting out. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Yes, he is. He is sorting it out. How are you, Ricky?
I haven't come here to be insulted.
Why don't you like the show Who Do You Think You Are? That show that traces your heritage. You don't like that show. Why?
Well, no, I was invited to do it a few times. I haven't seen the American one, but in England. And it turns out to be someone who's on there, and they suddenly find out their great-great-grandmother was a prostitute or something, and they start crying. What are you crying for? You didn't know her.
Because he's been dead.
Who cares?
Because they've been doing it on the side and didn't want anyone to know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They didn't know it was heredity.
Oh, well, it could be. That's the problem. And my friend Carl Pilkington, who I do the animation with, says he'd never do it. He says, because if you had an Einstein in the family, everyone would be talking about it. So you're going to find out your great-great-grandfather was a murderer or a rapist or something. So just don't go there. If you don't know about it, it's probably bad. Yeah.
Ricky, when you're watching, it was, really great watching this with you guys and seeing you talk about the craft of comedy. Why do you think just a regular average person watching this on HBO, what do you think they would get out of it?
Well, I don't think that it's I don't think it's in. I don't think you have to be a professional comedian to enjoy it, because it's
You know, it's not a comedy show. It's a show about comedy. But of course, when you get like those guys chatting, it's, you know, come up with funny stuff. And there was points where I couldn't stop laughing at something Louis came up with, and then Chris Rock. Chris Rock doesn't speak much, but when he does, he cuts to the bone.
And Jerry is a professor.
In the time we have left, I have to ask you about The Office, because most people know that you not only are a comedian yourself,
Ricky, stop looking at her like that.
What?
You like this.
She terrifies me. She terrifies me.
He's scared of you.
She came backstage and she went, "We're going to have fun. Enjoy yourself." Like that.
No, I was going to ask you about the... Let me do it. No, I'm going to defend myself.
Yeah, defend yourself.
I came out and I said, "I'm so glad you're here. We're going to have fun." And you said, "How do you know?" And
There was none of this.
I said,
There was none of this.
Nobody else came out. I came out.
That's
and
true.
I'm being maligned.
That's true.
And Barbara, we gotta let Ricky go.
Enjoy yourself. We're wrapping.
Go. Ricky, thank you for coming. We love you. Don't be such a stranger, Ricky. Talking Funny debuts on HBO Friday, April 22nd. We'll be right back.
Hey moms, The View and Chevrolet present the tricks of the mom trade. Here are our tricks.
School bake sale, add your own sprinkles to store-bought cupcakes. Kids always running late, secretly set all the clocks in the house 15 minutes fast.
We need more tricks, so tell us yours. Submit a video with your best mom trick at abc.com/theview, and we'll fly one clever mom to New York City to see The View. Go to abc.com/theview to enter now. Brought to you by Chevrolet.
Last year, Abby Sunderland was just 16 when she tried to sail around the world alone in a 40-foot boat. But 4 months into her journey, a wave capsized the boat in the middle of the Indian Ocean, and she nearly died. Her journey and rescue made headlines and was even a hot topic among us on The View. Many were horrified that her parents let her make this journey, but she explains it all in a new book called Unsinkable. And she's with us today. Please welcome Abby Sunderland. You were picked up by a fishing boat, but you did almost die. Now, your brother had done a similar trip and made it. You were just 16. Why was this so important to you?
Well, you know, I'd grown up around sailing. It had been in our family my entire life. I can't remember a time there wasn't boats and all that. And, you know, I always loved having big goals and just challenging myself. And so sailing around the world alone was the ultimate challenge for a girl who loves to sail.
But you were alone for 4 months. I mean, prisoners go crazy when they're in solitary like that. How did you, work on the mental part of it?
Yeah, well, that's a hard part for a lot of solo sailors, but for me, it was a lot easier.
Better than talking to people, probably, right?
But I have to say, I mean, you really...
how did you work it out? I'm curious about it.
It says you didn't sleep, you ate freeze-dried food.
It definitely gets hard sometimes, but, you learn to deal with that, and when you grow up sailing and around it, it's not as hard as somebody like who's looking at it from a perspective where they've never sailed before.
I really have to ask this because we brought it up in the introduction. We know you love it, okay, but a lot of people blamed your parents and said, how could they have allowed you? They called it child endangerment, and some said it was because your father wanted to have a reality show. That was almost a bigger reaction. How could your parents have let you do this?
Yeah, well, it wasn't the type of thing where they were just, I said, hey, I want to sail around the world. And they're like, oh, sure, go for it. I said I wanted to sail around the world when I was 13 years old. And they said no. They would not let me go until I was ready, until they knew I was ready. And that's why I waited 3 years.
And you trained for this.
How did they know you were ready?
I was training for it. I was working hard for it. And they were on boats with me. They saw me sail. They saw the effort I was putting in towards it. And, your parents know you best.
It may have been a different scenario, though. I mean, we're looking at the best-case scenario because you were rescued, you were found. I mean, your autopilot shut down, navigation, communication systems, everything was broken down. Most teenagers probably couldn't deal with their phones being uncharged for a little bit. I mean, you were out there in waves that were upwards of like 60 feet, right? Winds at 60 knots. I mean, this was not an easy sail. This was something that nearly could have taken your life. So when you are in that situation, you felt prepared to deal with that near-death experience?
Yeah, I mean, trust me, I freak out a little bit when my cell phone dies. But, it's...
I do.
You do?
It's a whole different mindset when you're on the ocean. You know, you turn from just a normal 16-year-old girl who likes to hang out at the mall and with friends, and you're in a completely different mindset. It's just nothing's the same really when you're out on the ocean.
But you think you're going to die?
You know, your mind starts to wander there, but the most important thing is controlling where your mind goes and your emotions.
Like prisoners.
Yeah, so your mind starts to go there, and you pull your mind away. You do anything to take your mind off it. And that's what makes a real sailor. Anyone can sail a boat, but not everybody can control where their mind is.
But you got scared when the rescue team showed.
Yeah, well,
tell us that.
When you see a rescue plane, it's great. But when you see the rescue plane flying away without knowing that they've seen you, that gets a little scary.
You feel that hope is gone.
A little scary?
It's a big ocean. They're only going to look, they're only going to look so many times.
I'm going to backtrack a little bit. On June 10th, 2010, things got a lot worse. You were 4 months into the voyage. Suddenly, a 50-foot wave capsized your boat in the middle of the Indian Ocean. You have produced an animation that shows what happened to the boat. What was the damage to the boat? Oh, my goodness.
Like the Poseidon
What was the
adventure,
damage?
where the thing flipped over.
Yeah, it shows it pretty good. I mean, my boom was gone, or my mast was gone, my boom was snapped in half. I mean, as a sailor, you generally, something like that happens and you jury rig. You find a way to rig up some sort of sail to make it to the closest land.
Do you want to do it again?
How come you weren't thrown out of the boat?
Because I was down below, luckily. If I hadn't been down below, I probably wouldn't be here right now.
Do you want to do it again?
Definitely.
When?
As soon as the boat comes up.
Well, there's also boat comes up, that boat or another
boat?
boat?
Not necessarily up like that, but a boat.
Is there talk? There was talk of a reality show. Is that going to happen? Because people were saying that your dad was interested in you doing this for a reality show. True or false?
You know, there was talk of a reality show. These guys came to us, and they had this great idea for a really inspirational show about teenagers following their dreams and all that. And then they turned it around and started taking it in a direction we didn't like, and so we cut ties with them.
You know, it's been reported that the Australian government paid $30,000 to Europe for this particular...
$300,000, I think.
Oh, I'm sorry, $300,000. It's a lot more. And some people say your family should repay the government. How do you feel about that?
You know, there actually hasn't been an official number released. But there's an international agreement which states that whichever country's territory you're in will cover the cost of the rescue. I know that America would do the same for any other person in my situation.
I see.
Well, and again, you are a seasoned, we just want to make sure the audience realizes this at home. You are a seasoned sailor. You have spent your entire life. So it is not unusual that you would want to sail around the world again.
Yeah.
You're an
But
extraordinary
you're a
woman.
seasoned
You
sailor
really
at
are.
the age of 16. It is still incomprehensible to me.
Wants to do it again.
But you're still unlike a lot of 16-year-olds
goodness you are
who would sit at
alive.
this
The
table.
book is called Unsinkable.
You're extraordinary.
You are unsinkable.
At the bottom of the boat that day. That's what I'm thinking.
Everybody in our audience is going to get a copy of this book, and we thank you for being with us. We'll be right back. Well, we're still having a discussion. Maybe you are at home, too. We're disagreeing about whether or not you let your kid, 16, 15, 14...
I got an entirely different perspective from sitting next to her and hearing her talk.
Well, what we pointed out, anything that happened to her could have happened to an adult.
I don't think, but I feel she's too young. But that's why we're called The View.
That's right,
and
damn
that's
it.
what it's all about. We're called The View. So take a little time to enjoy The View, or we'll be mad.
ABC's Happy Endings premieres tonight at 9:30, 8:30 Central, after a new Modern Family.